doing today? It's good to have you here. Thank you for coming to practice yoga with me and share your time with me. I'm Lisa, and you can find me on Facebook at Realistic.Life Community, where I share a lot of blogging and just different perspectives, ideas of everyday life. And you can also find me on my YouTube channel at Realistic Life. I also have a Realistic Yoga Facebook page. It's Realistic Yoga. So you can find me any of those places. Thank you for being here today. So today we're kind of exploring balance. So I watched a movie this week, and it gave me a different perspective of balance in our lives. So I'll give an example. Growing up my whole life into my 20s, I really didn't have to worry about what I ate. It was easy for me to lose weight or to maintain my weight. And over the last year, without really full knowledge of knowing it, I went through menopause, and I'm now postmenopausal. And I'm finding that what used to work for me is no longer working. Being active in a certain way that I was before isn't working. So I'm having to make some adjustments, really starting to watch everything that I've eaten. So while I may feel out of balance right now, when I look back on my past in my 20s, I see that my life is kind of balanced. Back then it was easy for me. Right now it's not as easy, and I'm finding a different way. So it's finding balance in life in that way, and then also trying to find balance in this moment, as this is difficult for me. Really learning how to nurture, be kind to myself, knowing that I want this to change, but trying to be okay with if it doesn't change, and trying to be okay in this present moment. So it's just a different perspective for us to look at. So we'll get started today. So just take a moment here, move a little bit around, make some movements here. So sometimes when we come to our practice, we kind of like stiffen up, ready to kind of take in, get in that certain mindset. See if you can reach a different balance today. Maybe you found yourselves in those moments of other yoga practices where you just kind of tensed up. Today, maybe in little small moments, see if we can kind of loosen that up and come to a balance. I mean, there's maybe some days you come and you may be able to like fully be in your zone and everything feels like it flows. And one day, maybe nothing feels like it flows. You're just like, this really sucks. I don't want to be doing this. So every practice that we have is a balance. So it's a balance in that present moment. How do we care for ourselves in that present moment? What do we do for ourselves? Maybe we just go into Shavasana, or maybe we do what we can. Or maybe those days when we feel fully present, we really give it our all while backing out of that 20%. So anything that I suggest today is purely a suggestion. If anything hurts or causes pain, immediately stop, back out of it. Of course, you should always check with your doctor first. If you're injured, we're only looking for you to maybe even do 5 to at the most 20%. Or if you're really injured in some spot, we don't want you to work that area at all. You can sit and be quiet if you like during the moment, or just listen to your body and what it needs. If you're feeling really, really healthy today, we still want you to back out of that about 20%. So you found your edge. So when we talk about finding our edge, it would be where you feel all your muscles start to engage, and then backing out of that a little bit. And then when you sit with that, you might find that as you breathe, maybe you can go into it a little bit more. So be kind to yourself today. Listen to your needs, listen to your body, and just explore what balance is for you today. So let's just take a moment here, just kind of bring ourselves as much as we can in this moment into this space. Anything that's going on around us, it's okay, you can continue to let it go on. And just bring yourself into caring for your needs in this moment. So just let your sits bones soften as much as possible. And move through your neck, maybe take a yawn. Wiggle through your shoulders, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers a little bit. And then gently bring your chin down toward your chest. So just feel that stretch in your neck. Notice any places that maybe you feel a little bit tense today. That's okay, just notice them. And as you start to take your next inhale, let's gently start to bring your shoulders up towards your ears, stretching them up. Inhaling. And as you exhale, letting your shoulders slip down. Let's do that 2 more times as we inhale up. Exhale, releasing. This time as we inhale, bring your shoulders up. Just feel that stretch, maybe feel the tightening. And as you exhale, letting your shoulders relax down, just pretend like you're letting everything go that's happening in this moment. On your next inhale, let's clench everything, clench from head to toe, breathe it in. And as you exhale, release, letting it out. On your next inhale, we're going to stretch our hands up strong, up toward the ceiling, stretch up. Bring your palms together as you exhale your hands through to heart center. Bowing in honor of yourself today. And in your mind, silently repeating after me. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be so full of love for myself that it naturally overflows to the world. I am awesome. I am awesome. I am awesome. And gently start to bring your hands down and make your way into a posture that's most comfortable for you for the next few moments. As I'll start with this short guided meditation just to ground you, help you to relax a little bit, and then just give you a few moments of quiet. So just take a few moments here, make yourself as comfortable as possible. You're always welcome to use blankets, bolsters, blankets, blocks, anything that you would like to help yourself to be a little bit more comfortable today. When you feel like you've made yourself as comfortable as possible, just take a moment, notice your body. Is there any places that still feel tense? Maybe you feel like you're really using those muscles to help you to stay in a certain posture. If you do, maybe make some movements. Go ahead and grab a bolster if you like from underneath your knees, your sits bones, anywhere that you'd like. And as you're settling in, as deep as you can, inhaling, and exhale, let it all go. And as you start to relax, notice the ground beneath you as it gently cradles you, supports you, so that you can just let your muscles relax as much as possible in this moment. Trusting that the ground will support you and that you will care for your needs in this moment. Taking a moment to notice any sounds that you hear inside of your room or outside of your room. Not trying to keep out the noise, just fully becoming aware of it. And taking a breath in. And as you exhale, as much as possible in this moment, allowing the noise to soften, or maybe you start to hear a rhythm, a pattern to the noise. Bring your awareness to your breath. Without judgment, just noticing your breath in this moment. take a deeper inhale. As you exhale, letting that go. Just taking a moment to think of your life right now in this moment. Maybe something that's going on. Maybe everything feels like it's flowing perfectly. Maybe something in your life that you'd like to change. And just pondering maybe if there's something in your past that would be like-minded. Do you feel like there may have been a different type of balance in that time? So maybe right now you feel like everything is flowing for you. Maybe thinking of a time in your life where you felt like it wasn't flowing quite so easily. Did you realize that your life is in balance? As you're taking a breath in, and exhaling it out, bringing yourself into balance in this moment as you relax. For the next few moments, enjoying your time with no commitments or demands on you during this time. To remain here for a few more moments or the entire rest of the class. I feel like that is what would help you to bring you into balance today. You're welcome to stay here. Otherwise, if you'd like to bring some balance by doing some movements, you can start to make some small movements with your fingers and your toes. Breath becoming a little deeper. You're unseated or in child's. We're going to start to make our way down to our back. So just take a few moments As you stretch this out, and start to gently make our way down to our back. And once you're down there, just take a few moments here, stretching this out as long as what's comfortable for you today. Starting to notice, how does your body feel today? What areas feel really loose? What areas feel tight? What areas feel pain? As you inhale, let's bring your knees in towards your chest. You can roll back and forth here in your spine if it's comfortable for you today. Just a gentle reminder that anything that I suggest causes pain or discomfort, immediately stop, back out of it. There's always a modification. Listening to your body, to your mind today. And let's gently start to bring that movement to a close. Let's keep your right knee in. Bring the left foot down to the ground, drawing that right knee in just a little bit more. Pedal out through your right foot. And then let's bring that right foot up toward the ceiling. You can interlock your hands behind the back of your leg if you'd like. The knees a little bit soft here as you continue to breathe through this. So let's just take a couple of more moments here, take a couple of more breaths. As you exhale, let's draw that right knee in toward your chest. And we'll use our right fingertips, gently draw your right knee out toward the right. And gently draw that knee in. Rolling the right foot down to the ground, draw the left knee in, drawing it in just a little bit more if you can today. Let's bring the left foot up toward the ceiling. Hands can interlock behind the back of your leg if you'd like to give yourself a little bit of support here. Knee is soft as you continue to breathe. Just a couple of more moments here, a couple of more breaths. Take your next exhale, drawing the left knee back toward your chest. And use your left fingertips, gently draw your left knee out toward the left. Let's draw that knee back in. And you can bring both knees into your chest now. Both feet up toward the ceiling, fingertips up toward your toes as you stretch up. Really stretch up as far as you can. Exhale. You're going to keep your feet up. Bring your shoulders down. Inhale your fingertips up. We're going to take them out toward the right, stretching out. Fingertips up. You can wiggle through your fingers. Exhaling your shoulders down. Inhaling up toward your toes. Exhaling fingertips, shoulders down. Inhaling fingertips up to the left of your toes. Exhaling, shoulders down, knees back towards your chest. Keep your right knee in as we bring your left foot down to the ground. So we're going to bring the right ankle over your left knee. So making sure that ankle is hanging over that knee so that foot's not jutting in towards you. So you can remain here today if you'd like. If you'd like to make this a little bit bigger, start to draw that left knee in towards your chest. You can interlock your hands behind the back of your leg if you want. You can always use that right elbow to draw that right knee out a little bit more, opening up a little bit more through your hip. Left knee can be bent or the left foot up toward the ceiling. So you decide today what's giving you the best stretch without any pain, discomfort. If you feel pain, discomfort, back out of it. If you feel like you're doing this 100%, back out of it just a tiny bit. As you Continue to breathe. Just a couple of more breaths here, a couple more moments. Exhale, release your fingers. We'll bring both feet down to the ground. We're going to bring both knees down toward the right. You can take your other hand out toward the left, your gaze toward the left if it's comfortable for you, coming into a stretch. Inhale, let's bring your gaze toward the ceiling, drawing your knees up. And let's take that to the other side. So we'll bring that left ankle over your right knee this time. Making sure that ankle is over your knee. So checking in with yourself how you feel now that you've come to this side of the posture. So remain here, or make this a little bit bigger today as you draw the right knee in. Same options, hands behind the back of your leg if you'd like. Using that left elbow to draw the knee out. Knee bent or foot up toward the ceiling. Continuing to breathe in whatever way that it comes to you in this moment. Let's take just a couple of more moments here, a couple more breaths. Start to take your next exhale, we'll release your fingers and we'll bring both feet down to the ground. Knees gently falling toward the left, your gaze toward the right. Take your next inhale, let's bring your gaze toward the ceiling, drawing your knees toward standing. And draw your knees into your chest. You'll roll back and forth here in your spine if it's comfortable for you. And once again, we'll keep your knees bent. Let's bring your feet down to the ground. So we're going to bring your hands down to the ground beside you, chin is up toward the ceiling. Nice. Letting that neck soften just a little bit. So ground down through your feet here. As you inhale, we're going to start to bring your hands up towards your knees. We're going to lift your shoulders up off the ground. We're going to hold this for just a breath. Exhale, release that down. Draw your knees into your chest. Bring both feet down to the ground as we ground down through our feet. We'll draw our feet in closer to our sits bones, about hip width apart. Ground down through your feet here. Start to feel your cheeks start to clench just a little bit to help start to protect that lower back. So your chin's going to come down toward your chest. We're going to come into bridge for just a moment. So inhale, bring your hips up toward the ceiling. If you want to stretch through your shoulders a little bit, you can interlock your hands underneath. You want to stretch your fingertips down toward your feet a little bit. Hips up toward the ceiling. Just going to hold this here for another breath. Exhale your hips toward the ground, drawing your knees toward your chest. Every time we'll bring your feet to the ground, knees bent, hands down to the ground beside you. As you inhale, you're going to start to bring your hands up toward your knees, lift your shoulders up. Exhale it down. So this time we're going to see if we can come up from here. If not, you can go ahead and roll to your side or roll straight forward and come up. Let's inhale, bring that up, and see if you can help that. Using those abs, bringing you up just a little bit more. So whichever way is Is most balance for you today? Maybe a little bit more strength, or maybe rolling to your side just to help yourself up. So it's your balance today. What helps you to come into balance? And then once you're up, just make a few movements here, getting yourself acclimated now to the ground, your sits bones beneath you. And then just move your shoulders around, move your neck around. Take a yawn, maybe bring in some more oxygen. Inhale, stretch up. You can lean back just a tiny bit if you want a little bit more of a stretch through your back. Bring your hands together, the palms together as you exhale your hands through your heart center. Taking a moment, taking that breath, bringing yourself back into balance in this moment. Gently bring your hands down towards your thighs. And as you inhale, let's draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let them float down. Let's bring your fingertips down to the ground beside you, your sides. As you inhale, we'll draw the right hand up overhead, stretching out. So make this as loose as what you'd like. When you feel like you've hit 100%, back out of that. This causes pain, immediately come out of it, back out of it, nice and gently, slowly. Your gaze can be up toward the ceiling, out in front of you, or down toward the ground. Inhale, we'll draw the fingertips up. Exhale, the fingertips down. You're going to bring the left hand over to the right knee, taking a gaze over your shoulder. Coming back to the center. Let's take that to the other side. Inhale, stretching up. And as you start to take your next inhale, stretch that hand up. Exhale, bring that down. Bring the right hand over toward the left knee. Take a gaze over your shoulder. Exhale, coming back to the center. So bring your chin gently down towards your chest. Let your shoulders soften. Another yawn comes to you, just embrace it. As you inhale, let's draw your gaze toward the ceiling. Exhale your chin toward your chest, so just noticing the stretch as you move. We'll do that 2 more times as we inhale up. Exhale down. One more time as we inhale up. Exhale, chin toward chest. Gently roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Bring that back to the center and over to your left. Come back to the center. We're going to bring your gaze gently up to neutral. And bring your right ear down toward your right shoulder. So you can draw that left shoulder up just a tiny bit. And then exhale, let that left shoulder fall down. Inhale your chin toward neutral. Exhale it toward the left. Inhale, bring the right shoulder up just a little bit. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale as you draw your gaze toward neutral. Exhaling your chin back toward your chest. Gently roll your right ear over toward your right shoulder. And we'll come back to the center and we'll take it over to the left. Back to the center and continue that there for 2 more rounds, or make that a little bit bigger as you go into some gentle neck rolls. So just noticing the stretch, notice your breath, We'll do this 2 times on each side. And when you're finished, bring your chin back to resting towards your chest. Let's do that one more time. And you can bring your gaze up to neutral. So you're going to bring your feet out in front of you. First we're going to keep your knees bent. So just bring your knees out in front of you. Just move back and forth through your knees a little bit here. And you want to bring them to stillness. So your feet are about hip width apart here. Just draw your knees out just slightly. Draw your knees back together. And we're going to bring your knees over toward the left, so just stretching them out, your hips out a little bit. To the center, I'll take those over to the right. Bring that back to the center. We're going to continue to walk your feet down here. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can always come into just a cross-legged seat or whatever's most comfortable for you. It may help you place a blanket underneath your sits bones just to give you a little bit of a lift here. So just placing that underneath your sits bones. It'll help to give you a little bit of tilt, which will make this stretch a little bit easier. So that's, for me, is a lot of finding balance. A lot of times in my past I've really pushed myself to make it difficult for myself instead of finding those ways to make it easier for myself. So let's inhale, let's take a big stretch up. Exhale, bring your fingertips down to the ground beside you. Let those knees soften just a little bit, and you can just walk your fingertips down toward your toes. So when you feel like you feel those hamstrings start to engage, the backs of your legs, the muscles start to engage, stop there for a moment, back out of it. Take a breath. And then decide if your muscles relax a little bit more, you want to go into it a little bit further. If they still don't feel like they're stretched out a little bit more, continue to back out of that and breathe into it just a couple more times. Keep your knees soft here. Let's take another breath. As you inhale, let's bring your gaze out over your toes. Take a moment here, take a breath. Start to walk your fingertips back up. If you want to, you can release the blanket from underneath. Just bring your hands back behind you. Just roll your shoulder blades in, so open up through your heart. Chin either down toward your chest, out in front of you, or toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring the gaze back toward neutral. We're going to stand the right foot. Bring that right knee in, and then cross it over the left. Bring that left arm around, right fingertips behind, gaze over that right shoulder. As you exhale, bring that back toward the center, releasing that foot, and we'll take that to the other side. Left knee in, crossing that over the right arm around, left fingertips behind, gaze over your left shoulder. As you exhale, bring that back towards the center, bring that foot out. Again, let's just draw both knees in and just let those knees gently fall open. So we're not going to go into this very deep right now. We're starting to open up a little bit more through your hips. So if you can, bring your fingertips around your ankles and just straighten up through your spine. Take a breath here. And exhale, just let your shoulders relax. Use your fingertips, gently draw your knees together and windshield your knees back and forth. So we're going to get ready here. We're going to start to come into our table. So just take a moment as you're starting to come into the table. Take a moment here. Just move through your shoulders. Move through your neck a little bit. Move your hips back and forth. Maybe move through your spine a little bit. Spine toward the ceiling. And we'll start to come to stillness here. We'll find our alignment for today. So it may be that you want your shoulders in alignment with your wrists, if that feels best to you. Your knees in alignment with your hips, if that doesn't feel good to you. Go ahead and make adjustments. Maybe you'd rather have your knees a little bit further apart. So just making that decision for yourself. You're going to bring your hips out toward the right, stretching out through your hips. Bring it back to the center. Let's take it over to the left. Bring it back to the center. We're going to press back, come in child, stretching out. You can walk your fingertips out in front of you if you like, or just make this more restful. Bring your hands down to the ground beside you. Next inhale, let's bring your fingertips out in front of you. Take a gaze at your fingers. Come back into table. We'll start into our cat-cows here as you find your alignment. As you exhale, let's bring your spine up toward the ceiling. Inhale as you let your stomach fall toward the ground, your gaze toward the ceiling. Do that 2 more times. Exhale. And inhale. One more time. Let's exhale. And inhale. Exhale as you come back to neutral. Just kind of walk that left hand in just a little bit underneath your nose here. Let's bring your right hand up, stretch up. We're going to thread that on through. So we're going to take that on to the left side. Your shoulder is going to come down toward the ground, the elbow down toward the ground. Sits bones pointing back toward the back room. Continue to breathe here, just a couple of more breaths. Let's take one more breath. Start to draw that arm back up. Come back to your table. So we're going to bring that right hand closer to underneath your nose here. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale as you bring that through toward the right. Continue to breathe here. Let your hips soften as much as possible. Jaw. So take your next breath. Let's bring that on through. Come back to your table. We're going to step your right foot in between your hands. Keeping that knee bent there. We're going to bring that right knee forward just a little bit. So we're looking for a stretch here through your legs. Exhale, bring that back. Wiggle that foot back. And let's take that through to the other side. Left foot in between your hands. And bring those hips forward just a little bit. If this feels painful at all, back out of it, immediately stop. Find a comfortable posture to come to. It's finding your balance today and taking care of yourself. Bringing that back. coming to table. So we're going to bring your elbows down underneath your shoulders. You can clasp your hands here if it's more comfortable for you. You're going to bring your right toes back behind you. So you may start to feel your stomach start to engage here. Just continue to breathe. Let's bring that right knee back in. Take your left toes back. Bring your left knee back in. Come to your table. So we're going to start to make our way to standing. If you prefer today, you can just step forward into this, or if you prefer, you can ground down, tuck your toes, start to come into your downward facing dog. So your knees are going to start to come up off the ground. If you're coming into downward facing dog, pressing down through your hands. Heels are reaching down toward the ground. They may not reach there, and that's perfectly fine if they don't. You can pedal this out here if you like. So we're just looking to start to make these stretches a little bit longer. If you're in downward facing dog, if not, that's awesome. Just take your time stretching. Just take one more stretch. Step your feet in between your hands and slowly start to make your way towards standing. Once you're up, take a few moments here. Let's make some stretches. So you've come to standing now, so we're going to work in a little bit different way of balancing here. So everything we've been doing really is about balance, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. So take a moment here and notice, everybody's set up differently. Do you feel better if your feet are about hip width apart? If your toes are together, maybe you want your feet a little bit further apart. So you decide what feels best balanced for you today. So we're looking for what can help you to physically also have your best balance here. For me, my toes together, it's harder for me to balance. But every one of us beautifully set up. So just take that moment here. Let your knees soften a little bit. So just let that shoulder soften, your neck soften. Take a breath. Let's inhale. Let's bring your hands up. Take a stretch if you want to lean back a little bit, as long as it doesn't hurt. Taking a stretch back. Bring your palms together as you exhale your hands through the heart center. Taking a moment to remind yourself, being kind to yourself in this moment. Accepting yourself just as you are today. Maybe the balance is coming easily to you, maybe it's not. It's all in the balance of life. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, palms through the heart center as you continue to roll down. Coming to forward fold. Inhale as you come to a flat back, your gaze goes out in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Noticing these stretches. Inhale as you make your way towards standing. Grounding down. Inhaling as you come to standing, your hands overhead. Exhaling through the heart center. Let's bring your hands down beside you. Inhale, bring the right hand up overhead, stretching over toward the left. Exhaling it down. Inhaling the left over toward the right. Inhaling and exhaling that hand down. Let's take both hands over toward your right. Take a gaze over that right shoulder. Come back to the center. We'll take that over toward the left. Come back to the center. I'm going to step your feet a little bit wider apart here. So your feet may be pointed out a little bit of a degree here. Let those knees soften, quads soften just a little bit. So let those sits bones soften and just let yourself slowly start to roll down. So maybe you only want to come halfway down today, or maybe this hurts your back. Maybe you'd rather come up and lean back. So you decide today, maybe this is enough for you today. You decide, slowly coming into this, you may want to block for underneath your hands just to help give an extension of your hands. You can let your knees soften here a little bit if you like, and just let yourself ragdoll back and forth a little bit. And then just let those hands come to stillness. Let yourself hang down here for a moment. Your neck is soft, so move through your neck a little bit. So you're releasing the tension in your neck. Move through your jaw a little bit here. Jaw and your hips are connected. So this will help to release your hips a little bit more, moving through your jaw. And on your next inhale, bring forward fold, slowly start to bring that up. If you've been stretching back, slowly start to come back to neutral. Let's walk your feet in. Once again, finding your alignment. Let's do a couple more modified sun salutations together. Inhale as we stretch up. Exhale, palms through to heart center. Inhale up. Exhale as you swan dive forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, make your way towards standing. Stretching up. Palms together as you exhale through to heart center. Inhaling up. Palms to heart center, continuing to roll down. Forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming towards standing, stretching. Exhaling, palms through to heart center. Let's add a little bit more to this here. Inhaling up. Exhaling through to heart center, continuing to roll down. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we're going to bring your hands down, slight bend in your knees here. If this isn't comfortable for you to come into your plank today, just bring your knees down, come into your table. Elbows coming in, engaging your core. Exhale, rolling down. Coming to the flats of your feet. Inhale, come into your cobra, lower high. If it's not comfortable for you, just bring your elbows down to the ground today. Bring your hands back, tuck your toes. You can come into child's if you want. If you want to come into child's as your downward facing dog, that's perfectly awesome and acceptable today. If you'd like to make that stretch a little bit bigger, come into your downward facing dog. So if you're in child's, go ahead and come to your table, and you can step through to standing here if you want, or come into your downward facing dog from here. Gaze toward your hands. Walk, jump, or step your feet in between your hands, and slowly start to make your way towards standing. Coming to standing, hands through to your heart center. So let's practice a little bit more of balance today. So what we're going to do first is, let's just start by finding your alignment today. So noticing your feet, move through your hips a little bit here, move through your neck a little bit. So this is engaging everything right here. It's a lot to balance just right here. If you want to add a little bit more, come to the flat ball of your right foot, add a little bit more into that. Hands or whatever, it can help you most balance. Maybe out to the side, maybe in front, maybe up, heart center, you decide. If you want to add a little bit more, bring that foot up. So you're always welcome, grab that wall today. If that's what helps you to come to balance, let it support you. Either way, you're balancing. Let's bring that foot down. Move that a little bit more. So you're probably going to notice one side's easier to balance than the other. So start to bring that weight over toward the right now, coming to the ball of that left foot, deciding where you want your hands placed. Move through your neck a little bit, keep that neck soft. So if you remain here with that foot firmly planted, bring it to the ball of your left foot. You want to make it a little bit more, bring that left foot off. Of course, you always have the wall, or bring a chair over. Continue as much as you can to breathe. And let's bring that foot down. Again, move that through. So, think without as much judgment as you can, notice how your balance was today. And then maybe think back to a time maybe when it was a little bit more difficult for you to balance. Or maybe a day where you kind of felt like everything just kind of zoomed into place for you. So let's do one modified sun salutation here before we do another standing balance posture. Inhaling up, palms together, exhale through to heart center. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, floating forward. Inhale as you come to your flat back, gaze is in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you make your way towards standing, stretching your hands up. Exhaling through to heart center. As you're doing that, noticing all the muscles that have to engage to help you to balance. So we're going to start by keeping the left foot forward. We're going to step back with that right foot. So if you want, you can always bring a chair here to help you. You can always utilize the wall to help you. But we want that knee as much as possible to be over your ankle here. So this is a lot of balance here. You're using everything here. Hands maybe you want to be out in front of you. But if you can today, let's bring your hands out toward the sides. Notice everything that's working for you. And if you can, we're going to bring both hands over toward that back leg. So one right hand back toward the back of the ball. Now you can remain here, or you can bring that left hand down, bring that right hand up. Bring that back. Come back to the front and bring that foot forward. So that's a lot. It's even difficult for the teacher to find that exact balance. Right foot down. And we're going to take that to the other side. So left foot's back. So just take a moment here. So first, find that grounding. Knee over your ankle here. Bring your hands out in front of you. Bring those hands out. And then if you can, stretch over toward the left. And we stay here. We'll bring that right hand down, left arm up. Once again, bring that hand out. Bring that hand forward, step it forward. So you notice, even the teacher wiggles and bobbles a little bit. I have those days too. It's the balance of my life. It's just meeting ourselves where we are. So let's do one modified sun salutation. Inhale up. Palms together as you exhale through to heart center. First, just let yourself hang down here, ragdoll down. Let your neck soften, your knees soften a little bit. Take a breath, or 2 or 3. And start to straighten out through your knees a little bit here, but keep them still a little bit soft. Slowly start to come to standing. Stretch up. Exhale through the heart center. So let's just do one more standing, then we'll move on to our seated postures to start closing up. So we're going to bring your feet a little bit wider apart here, feet about 45 degrees, but we want your knees so they're tracking here. So we want them to make sure you feel like you're tracking. You're going to take your sits bones back just a tiny bit, so back toward the back wall, feeling your legs start to help you here. So this is a ton of balance here. This is working a lot. You can remain here, or start to bring that weight over toward the left toes up to the ball of that right foot. Come back to the center, stretch those hips back toward the back wall, bring that weight toward the other side, coming to the balls of the other foot. Back to the center, let's take one more breath, hips back toward that back wall, and slowly come up. Bring your feet in. We're going to start to transition down to the floor now. Finding your alignment as you inhale up. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Continue to roll down. Inhale to a flat back. So going to bring your hands down to the ground, bend through your knees. We're just going to bring your knees down, come into Child's. Fully enjoying your moments here in Child's. Enjoying the breath. Achieving your balance here for today, no matter what it looked like to you in your mind, knowing somewhere in your life you are balanced with the past, with your future, the present. Let's walk your fingertips back towards your knees, come to a seated posture. Inhale as you bring your hands up overhead. Palms together as you exhale, hands through the heart center. Bring the palms down to the ground beside you. Inhale your right hand up overhead. Exhale a hand down. Inhale to the left. Exhale, bring that hand down. Bring both hands over to the right, your gaze over your right shoulder. Let's come back to the center. We'll take it over to the left. Come back to the center. We'll do one more hip stretch. So we're going to do pigeon, so I'll give you a couple of different options. You can come into it from seated if you like, bringing that left ankle over the right and just stretching forward if you like. You're also getting a stretch if you bring that knee up. You want to make that a little bit more intense, you can bring that up. You can also roll down to your back, just like we started in the beginning. Or, if you want to today, you can roll into your table. Bring that right knee in towards your right wrist. That right foot can remain back, straight back behind you if you want. You can walk that left knee back a little. Or you can roll that ankle over toward the left side of your mat here. Just take a moment here, stretch up, inhale. As you exhale, folding forward. If you want to use a bolster for underneath your elbows, welcome to do that, maybe underneath your hips for a little bit more support. As you continue to breathe here for the next few moments. Just making sure your weight feels like it's even over both those hips, and maybe rolling toward your left hip just a little bit more. Continue to breathe here. So let's just take a few more breaths. Start to take your next inhale. Start to bring that up. Walk that back. So we're on the ground as I am here. You can stretch this back, either the table, stretch that leg back, or come into your downward facing dog. If you're backwards seated, just take a moment here, do a forward fold here, stretch that out. And we're going to take that to the other side. So bring the left, we'll come to the opposite side, whichever way you did it, whether you're seated on your back, or as I am here. Take a moment here, stretching up, finding that balance even over both your hips. Exhale as you fold down. So we're starting to create balance here from the right side to your left. You may not feel like they're balanced. Maybe one side feels a little bit easier to stretch than the other. But in some way, we are finding balance here. We're starting to create that balance. There is balance in your life, in your body. Enjoy a couple of more breaths here. Next inhale, we're bring your gaze out. I'm going to stretch this out. I don't know which posture you're in right now, so taking a moment stretching this out. And we're going to start to make our way toward seated, and then we'll make our way down toward our back. So once you're down, you can draw your knees in towards your chest if you'd like. Roll back and forth here in your spine. Let's keep that right knee in towards your chest. Draw the left leg long toward the ground. And then draw the right knee over toward the left. Your gaze toward the right. Gently bring that back to the center, both knees toward your chest. This time, left knee in, right leg toward the ground. And this time, left knee over toward the right, gaze toward the left. And next breath. Gaze toward the ceiling, gently one. Drop both knees toward your chest. Let's bring both feet down to the ground. Feet in close to your sits bones here. So I'm just going to ground down through your feet here. But first, before we go into our bridge, let's bring our hands to the ground beside us. And just use your shoulders, bringing your shoulders up towards your knees. Hands toward your knees here, just coming up a little bit. Exhale, bring that down. So bring your feet in as close as your sits bones as possible. About hip width apart. Knees can draw toward each other to give yourself a little bit more stability here. And as you draw your knees in, you'll feel your sits bone. You start to clench together. That's going to be protecting your back here. Chin down toward your chest. Inhale as you draw your hips toward the ceiling. So you can interlock your hands underneath here, drawing them down toward your feet. If you'd like a little bit more of a shoulder stretch, you can interlock your hands around your ankles if you like. Chin towards your chest, feet grounded, knees drawing toward each other as you breathe. more breaths here. One more breath. Exhale your hips toward the ground, draw your knees in. Knees bent, both feet down toward the ground. You're going to bring both hands over to your right. Just take your hands over to the right, stretching down. Coming back, we'll take it over to the left. And back to the center. Bring your knees toward your chest and your feet up toward the ceiling. Stretch your fingertips up toward your toes. Exhale your knees back toward your chest. Bring both feet down to the ground. Your knees gently falling toward the right, your gaze toward the left. Toward the ceiling, your gaze toward the ceiling. Exhaling your knees toward the left, your gaze toward the right. Inhale as you draw your knees up, drawing your knees toward your chest. Roll back and forth on your spine here if it's comfortable for you. We're going to start to make our way into our relaxation or shavasana. So grab whatever it is that you'd like for yourself. Make yourself to a posture that's most comfortable for you. I'm going to make my way towards seated. You can remain on your back, your side, your stomach. Child, seated, whatever is most comfortable for you. Take a few moments here to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Just enjoying completely as much balance as today as you can. Maybe today it'll be easy for you. Maybe today it won't. Somewhere in your life you found balance. Allow yourself to relax. bringing awareness back to your breath. Gently start to bring your awareness back to your body. You start to make some small movements with your fingers and your toes. Breath becoming a little deeper and the movements a little bigger. So you take a nice long stretch overhead, big yawn. If you're laying on your back, you can gently draw your knees into your chest. Take a moment here of gratitude to yourself today, no matter which posture you're in at the moment. And gently make your way toward your left side. Just remain there for just a moment more. At some point, you gotta let go and sit still and allow contentment to come to you. By Elizabeth Gilbert. Eat, Pray, Love. Take a moment here as you take another breath for yourself, completely for yourself today, to bring yourself into your balance. Gently float your way to seated as you bring your hands through to heart center. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for being here with me today. I'm grateful for your love and for your kindness. May you be kind to yourself. May you accept yourself just as you are. And may you be so full of love for yourself that it naturally overflows to the world. I bow to each of you, and I say to each of you, Namaste. Thank you for being here with me today. Love you all.